What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Sunless Sea. My name is Splattercat, and I'm happy to have you here today as we hang out for a little while. And right now, we're like in some kind of weird spider shack. I don't know who got together with a delegation of spiders and decided they were going to live in a giant spider shack, but this place seems a little bit unfriendly. I don't know if we should stay for right now. It seems like a lot of things could go wrong here, but I suppose we could stop for a little while. The glumness of the nativity is broken. Well, here, hold on. Let me figure out what we're doing here. Preparing for the Festival of Silk. There we go. I wanted to know what option we picked because it seemed like I just jumped into that one by default. The glumness of the nativity is broken by the reds and golds of freshly hung banners. Spider-worshipping weavers and widows guide the traders in readying their celebration of gratitude to the generous neighbors that silently watch over them from the shadows. Oh, so they're benevolent spiders. I feel much better about this then. I like it when the spiders are my allies. See, when the spiders are my enemies, I don't enjoy that at all. In my house, I have a treaty with the spiders. I don't bother them or crush them with magazines or anything like that, and then they eat up all the bugs in my house. Now, there is a caveat there that if the girlfriend sees them, I have to put them on a piece of paper and put them outside, and I told them they can infiltrate right back under the door if they want to, but it's a minor inconvenience, and it has been a hitch in our relationship. You know, me and the arachnids, we try really hard, but sometimes diplomacy fails. So, we can do a couple of things here. We can assist with festival preparations. We have the Haunted Doctor. We can trade supplies for silk. Okay, the fine silk of Savior's Rocks is the most coveted in the Neath. There can be no better time to acquire some without the usual trader's markup. Can I buy fuel out here? It appears as though I can. It's not too ludicrously expensive, but a sluggish and hostile merchant squints warily. A few goods of indifferent. Well, if I was a slug merchant, I'd be upset too. Why you gotta sell slugs? Slugs are animals too. You know, like out where I live, we have those big banana slugs. They're so big you can actually see them breathing. They're gnarly, like they really sincerely are. Like I'm not a hater of any animal other than hyenas. I don't like hyenas at all. But seriously, I picked up a banana slug out like by the lake that I go to every now and again, and they're about as long as your hand, and they're about as thick as they're about as thick as like an average stick or twig that you would pull out of a tree. I guess I shouldn't have said twig right there. Twig is not a good. That's not going to give you the proper mental image. I suppose that they're about the size of like maybe like a sweet potato or something like that, like a smallish sweet potato. Anyways, pretty big slugs, and they're so big that you can see them breathing. I'd never noticed that before. I went back out like 2 or 3 years ago, and while I was out, I found one of the banana slugs, and I was looking at him. You could see his little air holes open. You could, like, watch him breathe and everything. He's like, he thinks those are air holes. Hey, Dougie, he thinks that those are air holes. I'm going to surprise him real fast. Look, he thinks he's putting his thumb over my air hole right now. That's not an air hole, you idiot. Anyways, he's not that wicked smart. So we got some fuel right here. I'm not going to buy a ton because it's a little bit expensive from this location. It's about twice as much as it normally is, but I'd like to keep this expedition floating, so I'll buy like 5 of it for a little bit, because there are things that we're trying to accomplish while we're out here, and until we find the chelin, unfortunately, we're at a little bit of an impasse as far as our objectives go. So we can assist with festival preparations. Caught in the webs of Savior's Rocks, caught in the webs. Okay, let's try that one. So what does it say? The traders of the nativity have little practice showing appreciation, but at least put in an effort. In particular, they did not entirely accidentally let slip the secret of the Accord of Grace, a hospitality granted visitors by the generous neighbors of whom they speak no ill. They do, however, hint that this only applies to travelers arriving through the port. Those unlucky enough to run aground on the rocks can consider themselves... But no. A sorrow spider might hear something they would, of course, never say. Okay, so apparently if you don't land in the nativity, you are hosed in your spider food. So we can meet with the emissary of spiders. Unfortunately, we have to have something awaits you. We can go with the Haunted Doctor. Do we have the Haunted Doctor, or does he come with us no matter what we do? He increases your hearts and your pages. What does he do as far as... Please, I must leave this terrible place. The sorrow spiders will not take me back. Please. Okay, well, you can come with me. The Haunted Doctor hurries aboard the ship. He pauses looking at the cursed wasteland of Savior's Rocks. The lady said I would never be able to get it back once it was thrown away. I can see she was, well, never mind. Is this my cabin? Yes, it is more than I deserve. Okay, so what does he do? He is a surgeon. Who is my current surgeon? Our current surgeon gives hearts and irons and gives you a doctor aboard, whereas he gives us pages. We have a much better use for pages right now than we do for hearts. Our hearts are actually pretty satisfactory. Up above around 50 anyways. Not above 50, but 46 will work for right now. Instead, what we need is for our pages, which is by far, pages and veils appear to be our 2 very weak stats. There are a lot of quests for us to work on here. I think I'll probably, let's go back to preparing for the Festival of Silk. It looks like we could do a delivery of trinkets. An almost entirely legitimate silk trader urgently requests your help with a delivery to Fallen London. Okay. Just trinkets, confirms the man, holding out a box. Shaking it, you hear a rattling and see a sudden look of horror on the man's face. He says nothing, though. He merely backs away as quickly as good manners permit. Great. I had a good manners permit one time, but then I lost it, which is why I'm so disagreeable now in my old age. Let's find out what's going on in the scuttering reaches. Intricate webs stretch into a darkness where shadows are never entirely still. Gossamer threads stolen by the breeze tickle the goosebumps on your skin. 1,000 unseen eyes promise 1,000,000 more. And so we have a high-risk challenge. We can bring light into the darkness if we had foxfire candles, but we don't. So unfortunately, there will be no inflamed foxes right now. And then we can risk exploring without candles, which gives us a 10%. An almost impossible challenge. That seems like a bad idea. I don't think we should go out and just taunt spiders without any light source. It appears as though you can use this to farm bolts of spider silk or something like that, although I don't know what you really do with them. I don't think there's anything for us to do here right now unless we have foxfire candles, and even so, with the foxfire candles, it says it's a high-risk challenge, which means that we have a 14% chance to succeed. So even bringing a light, we go from 10 to 15%, so it's a little bit nerve-wracking. I don't know if that's one we're going to be able to take a chance on. Let us continue, and I think for right now, we're going to leave port. And I think our best plan, if we're trying to find the chelin, as far as I understand it, the chelin is always in this outside little area. So if you've got this final little ring of content out here, it's either down below us or it's up above us. And so I'm going to take a risk. Yeah, I'm going to have to. I think I'm going to take a risk and we'll go. I mean, let me fire out a bat real quick and see what happens there. Savior's Rocks is some distance to the southeast. So I don't think that's going to help us that much. However, I will try and discover as much as I can in this episode. Now that I know that I can get supplies from right there, I think that that's going to be desynced, by the way. I'm just letting you know. It's not out of sync. I just did the little circular motion on screen after I had already said it because I like to confuse my viewers. Anyways, now that you're thoroughly confused, we have to go down to Savior's Rocks. I don't know if Savior's Rocks actually does anything. That is so many spiders. I don't like this at all. I am not a big fan of spiders. They are quite worrying. I suppose we can go south first, and then what can happen is I can about face, go back up to the north. We got plenty of supplies. I can buy more fuel if I need to. We might lose a little bit of cash on it, but as far as I know, that box of angry dream snakes, we should be able... Oh, we found the wreck of the Nocturne. Huh, okay, so I remember that being in the beta version of the game before the game actually released, but I don't recall what happens there. Let's go look. Shrouded with shadows and wrapped with webs. We can board the empty mausoleum if we have foxfire candles. Superstitions of the Z give even cynical sailors pause before ransacking half-drowned vessels. Still, nothing in the code prohibits indulging curiosity. See, that's that you found the marketing guy right there. Like, meh, we're not ransacking the vessel, we're indulging our curiosity. Like, yep, that's the guy you gotta watch out for. The guy that's always using, like, complex English to dilute the fact that you're about to do something illegal. Like, yep, this guy right here, we cannot hang out with him anymore because he makes bad ideas seem like too good of ideas. Let's fire out another bat real fast to see if we find anything down here. Now, we might only find empty sea. That's the only... We got King Eater Castle to the southwest. Isn't that where we needed to go to find our father? Oh, damn. Is that land? What is that right there? Hold up. Hey! That's kind of cool. I don't know what those are supposed to be from above. It looks like they might be some kind of like hooded and cloaked guys. That guy's threatening. He's like, this is my fist. There are many fists like it, but this one is mine. It is also the only part of me that's not submerged, so it's sort of like my human periscope right now. It's the best that I can use it for. So is this whole thing King Eater's Castle? Like, what is this? I will recall that what's-his-name said that if we go here... Oh, our terror is pretty high right now. That's not good. Okay, so we may have to turn back for a little bit, or at least be careful about being outside the view of land. Our terror is kind of high at the moment. Pennington. So we have our father's bones at King Eater's Castle. All around the altar, bones lie in brown drifts like naked fossils. If the Admiral is believed, your father's bones are here among them, but which and where? We can sift through the bones. The castle is almost silent. Only far-off waves and the bamboo click of the bones. They are light in your hands and a little greasy to the touch. A dozen or more of the bone piles wear a knife in their rib cages. 2 of the knives are distinguished tableware and 1 is rosy glass, but most are of a similar type. Flint hilts and blades of dark coral. These are the knives that the drownies bear, those unsleeping dead who lure sailors in with their song. Their ruler is the Fathom King, and surely he must know something of what happened here. Okay, so if we go to King Eater's castle, we can lose our mind. We can offer our thoughts to the altar. Do not do this. If you have terror no more than 20. So if your terror is under 20 and you got in here, you can lose your mind. An act of burning faith. Which god holds sway here? Storm, stone, or salt? Perhaps no god that is elsewhere named, but if you feed it, it will calm your mind. So it lowers your terror? Huh. For 1 and 1, I'd be willing to give that a shot. What does it do? How much do you lose? Oh, you lose 25 terror? Oh my god, that's amazing. That's really, really good. We can eat our crew. Not all of them will go easily. Okay. We can construct the Fulgent Impeller. I don't even know what the hell that's supposed to be. And so I think that's the tireless mechanic. That should be the end of his quest, but you need all kinds of stuff to get that done. Stygian Ivory, Mechanic's Secret, Element of Dawn. Okay. You can offer your stories. It's a matter of luck. If you had a Z story, you can compile a... Okay, I'm going to compile a port report. Silence and Desolation. The sense of an impending and terrible mistake. It's not really an appropriate title for a formal report, is it? Everything is horrible. Let's find something a little bit more clinical. Okay, well, we got to see the Fathom King. He's off to the west. I think I'll probably buy some more fuel somewhere, although for now, I think our best bet is probably to cut to the north and just hope that we find our way to the chelin in this little area right here. There aren't so many more areas that the chelin could actually be inside of, so I think it's got to be right here. Not ironically, but I guess coincidentally, one of the final places that we search, bringing truth to the fact my dad would always say, it's always in the last place you look. And so there it is. Off we go to the north. We do have a little bit of hull damage going, and I don't recall exactly how that transpired, but we should probably get on that somehow. I gotta stay close to shore. I don't want to... Oh yeah, never mind. We fixed our terror. Ha! Bask in the fear. Let everyone shake. Let everyone be terrified. Who cares? We'll throw them overboard if they get too crazy. It'll be fine. Not worried about it. Just did minus 25 terror. Feeling pretty good about the situation, too. We have so many quests to do and, like, so many places to start and so many things to see. I tend to use these quests that you get from your crewmen as the catalyst for my adventures. And then I just kind of do stuff along the way. But for right now, what does the Poissonnier want? Don't we have to, like, spend a whole bunch of food to get him to do anything with us? Oh, we needed Mutter Salt. I can never find Mutter Salt. I never have any clue where Mutter Salt is obtained from. I think you trade it for Stygian Ivory somewhere or something like that. And unfortunately, we are not in the phase of the game where you can get Stygian Ivory. You can only get Stygian Ivory once you can actually kill some of the bigger sea monsters. I don't remember exactly how it goes down. But I know that once you've got a better ship and better guns, we should be able to get Stygian Ivory from somewhere. Consistently, actually. It's one of the little sea monsters. I don't think it's the shark. I think the shark gives you a live specimen and something else when you beat him, and then I think it might be the little eel thing that slivers around. Couldn't tell you for sure, though. My experience with the game is not satisfactory. Let's go back to the north, through Savior's Rocks, and if we don't find the chelin here, I have no idea what our long-term plan is going to be. In all frank and earnest commentary here. I should probably buy some more fuel while we're up here. At the Reef of Roses, Port Cecil. Where's the next place that we could actually... Yeah, we're pretty far off. I could take some fuel in Mount Palmerston, but then again... I don't know if I want to cut it close or not. I'm actually having trouble deciding on this gamble. I could not take any fuel... I mean, I guess I could just kill the lights and let my terror go up at a stupid rate. I mean, that might work out for a little. Let's just grab a couple more. There we go. So we'll get a little bit of fuel just to keep us cooking. And then we'll go up and around. If I can't cook, unfortunately, this trip is going to have to end a lot sooner rather than later. Because I like my meals to be warm. I don't know. Something about college is eating cold food for like weeks at a time. I was... so broke in college. It was ridiculous. And yet, like, I went to school like all day every day, so there was really like no time to get a job. It was a weird situation. I did IT work on the side for people every now and again when I really needed the money. I'd put up flyers on campus and offer to fix people's laptops for like stupidly low prices because I already knew like what the prices were that all the places around here had because they used to be my competition. I used to run a little IT company. Not for long. For about a year I tried to get it started up. But it's just like, it is so difficult to get yourself... Oh, is that the chelin right there? It is. Hell yeah. It is so difficult to start an IT business. Like, I did it for about a year, and you would only get like 2 or 3 jobs a month, which wasn't... Unless there was just catastrophic failure at whatever this location was that you were trying to fix. Unless, like, everything went wrong for these people, you didn't make enough money off of it to, like, actually survive. And so my parents were nice about it, and they let me move back into their guest room while I was getting the business started, but it was just too slow, and eventually I was like, I'm gonna go back to college and we're just gonna make this happen because the IT field bottomed out. I don't know. Kind of got a little bit ugly there for a while, but yeah, you can't survive off 2, 3, 4 jobs a month, and that was with me. Like every weekend I would go out and I'd put flyers on cars and just non-stop like knock on doors, and I don't know. It's very difficult to start a business. I do not envy people that have to start a business. So over here we got Mount Nomad's Heart. You can get a Searing Enigma, really, for Mount Nomad's Heart, huh? A Cask of Sapphire sells for 99. A Carboy of Primordial Shrieks. Yikes. Oh, you can buy Stygian Ivory here. Oh. Okay, so we got to do our port report here. We got to meet up with the spy. Waves lap the slabby sides of a vast turtle shell, bigger than any cathedral. Chelinites loaf on wooden docks around the shell sides. Well, at least they're good bakers. I love bread. Staring sullenly. Lamps hang like decorations in a festive butcher's window. All around you, the sea is rank with scraps of ancient flesh. Beer and roistering are cheap here, but the hunters of the Chelin take their roistering seriously. You can't be sure your crew will make it back safely. Okay, we won't play around with that. Obtain a doomed monster hunter. Oh, we can trade him for captivating treasures. Okay, that's not what I'm going to do. A mutilated hunter makes her home in a plastron at the wretched end of the shell. Well, the more wretched end. Her face is half immobile from a jellyfish sting. Give her a hunting trophy and she'll share the sea gossip. I think that's the one we needed for our Admiralty commission. Yeah, let's go grab that one. She has Z stories for you. Drowny whispers, Chelinite murder myths, truths found engraved on bound shark harnesses. And she adds, tell the Admiral our hunters are eyeing Estival. There is a temptation now. She eyes you, but I suspect you'd know that, wouldn't you? Oh, is she saying that... I think they're going to try and compete with me for colonizing Estival, but we don't have the mirror catch box. I would have to go somewhere and grab that first. So we got that port report right there. What we can do with that is we can combine it into an even better tantalizing little piece of information. So if we can find that in our hold, where did it go? Yes, where did you go? There it is. We can use that and we can save our... I've got memories of a distant shore, so we might as well do this, right? There we go. And so now we have a vital intelligence and it only cost us a memory of a distant shore. That's why and that's where, and now you know who. Cool. Got ourselves a nice little money-making piece of equipment right there. Other things that we can do here. We'll compile our port report. No matter what details you try to record, the stench creeps in around the edges of the sentences. The Chelinites, watchful despite of the reek, movement among the miasmic scraps of a long-abandoned monster carcass. Frequent duels where the stink is thickest. Okay, and then we could say, what is this right here? Tales for the bone. Alright, someone is crying unusual wares. We follow the sound. A scrawny man squats beneath an awning of gant-colored whaleskin. Bring me your tales, he cries. Tales for the bone. Aw, man, I used up my hunting trophy. You can bring him a tale. Pay the chronicler to inscribe a Z story onto the hunting trophy and receive an outlandish artifact. Oh, that's kind of cool. So you can convert that into, he'll make scrimshaw for you. That's pretty badass. You don't know what scrimshaw is? Essentially, back in the day, like in the Victorian period, like 1700s, 1800s, and 1900s. That's not all Victorian, but anyways, you get what I'm saying right now. Back in those days, sailors used to carve whale bone and like random fish bones and things like that into all kinds of cool stuff. They would whittle, just like people whittle like wood or anything else, they would whittle bone, and it's called scrimshaw. It's quite valuable nowadays, actually, considering there is a prohibition on whalebone products and things like that. The only ones that are legal anymore are the ones that are already created. It's the same with ivory. So like antique ivory you're still allowed to have. Like at my house, I broke up with one of my exes and she left like this full, I think I've told this story before, but still nonetheless, Tussler's Channel. She left an entire set of like dining ware here that's all ivory. Like she's got like salt shakers and a couple other things. Apparently been in her family for hella long. I don't know, I should probably give them back to her now that I live back in town, but it's kind of like one of those things where it's called excitement. There's a reason the word X is in excitement, and I've enjoyed my life being very, very peaceful up until this. That thing is creepy as hell. Nah, I don't like that thing at all. Nope, we've already been here, but I still don't like it. Still don't like it. I should probably give it back to her. So maybe I could just drop it off with her parents. That seems like a better plan. Just be like, hey, I don't want to talk to you, bye. And just like drop it off as quickly as I can. So right now we need to decide what we want to accomplish out here. I say that we hit Visage. We hit the Isle of Cats. I don't think... Well, we should probably go to Khan's Shadow because I think we can sell that box full of snakes. Let's go to... I don't want to do Visage right now. I'm not in the mood to read a whole bunch of stuff at the moment. I'd like to do quests and I'd like to get stuff done, but for a second, I'd just like to go do some other things and make a little bit of money. And so up to the northwest, we have Nuncio, and I need Khan's Shadow, actually. So let's cut back to the west right here. If we could get out to Nuncio, that would be perfectly fine. Like, I'm okay with all of this. Did I have... Ooh, I forgot about... Are we working for the Blind Bruiser right now? Do we have that going on? I don't think we do. 7 Devil Bone dice. Ah, that really... I should... Damn it. Okay, so for the Devil Bone dice, I think we got to go up to Mount Palmerston. But if we can get that, we would make another fat grip of cash. And so if we can make that happen, it wouldn't be the worst plan ever. Once I hit Khan's Shadow, I may head back up to Nuncio and around. It depends on how long we'll be able to hold down our allotment of fuel. I think our terror is still feeling mostly okay. It's going to go up pretty rapidly once we start going off in this direction, but I think we should be able to make it work. If we can make it out to Khan's Shadow, I think we'd be in much better shape. The light's going to fall on us right there, which is going to help out for just a minute. I do wish we could travel a little bit faster. Unfortunately, no such luck. Let's see here. How close is it? It's pretty far out still. Pretty far out. So let's turn on the lights until we make port, and then once we get near land, it'll go back down to a yellow terrorizing. So as soon as we get around here, we should be alright. I think the dock was on the left-hand side. Past the dock, we're on the left-hand side. Still don't know what that song says. I think I brought that up already. I know none of the lyrics to that song, and yet it always pops into my head like every 5 minutes. Probably a decent idea to go back and get ourselves a few more bits of random... What is that stuff called again? Scintillac. It's probably a good idea to go see if we can get some Scintillac, because we can sell it for 60 a pop when we go back to town. And so if you get the good event where you get like 5 or 6 of it for free, make yourself a good 300 echoes if you're lucky enough. I need to make a port report here, and then the other thing that I needed to do was we have Stygian Ivory for sale. Wait, I thought you could... The Traveler's Fiend, there, or the Traveler's Friend, there we go. We can sell the box of Very Angry Dream Snakes. I don't know if that's useful for anything else, but I like 500 echoes, and I like having myself... Oh, you can buy fuel for way cheaper here. Well, good. I'm glad I waited on that. We can buy outlandish artifacts. Oh, we can get our mirror catch box, too. Let me refuel for a minute. I'm going to refuel for just a second. Those are a little bit more expensive than I was willing to go for. We can also sell off one of our captivating treasures if we need the money. I'd say, yeah, let's sell it. It's been sitting in our inventory for a while, and they're not that hard to get. The captivating treasures, typically use them as a revenue source, and so you sell them. That's what most people do anyways. You can actually get like 13 or 14 of those pretty easily by doing the quest for all the random colors that you get for the curator back up in Vendor Blight. So in case you were wondering about that, for right now, we're back out on the road again, so I figure we'll go ahead and I'm going to try and hit Mount Palmerston so that I can buy the Devil Bone dice so that we can make a little bit of cash when we make our way back to London. But our final leg of our journey here is going to be us going northwards, hopefully to Nuncio, Godfall, Polythreme. We'll hit Mount Palmerston. It would be a really good idea to hit Estival while we're out here. Did I buy the mirror catch box or did I forget? No, I've got it, so we have to go to Estival right now. If we don't go to Estival, it's going to be a giant waste of our time. So I'm going to make for Nuncio and Estival. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me out here for another episode of Sunless Sea. I look forward to seeing you all in the future. I'm going to reset my Fallen London account, so if you guys want to play with me, I'm going to try and reset it tonight, I think. But anyways, I'll see y'all later. Hi to everybody.